The army of sea monsters approaches Arium at full speed. The navy of the deep sea was an attack that looked like calamity falling upon a single target. Creatures like Nessie, the Kraken, and Moby Dick were already considered elite bosses, but thanks to Octonash's queen trait, she possessed the ability to command any monster with a lower level than hers. However, forming such a formidable army had a cost. She had to offer 9 of her 18 legs. She had stored vitality and mana in each of them, so casting this ultimate spell took a massive toll on her body. But her army was so powerful that she managed to annihilate her father, the king of the oceans, along with his palace. Comparing that scenario to just 2 mere humans might seem excessive, but deep inside, Octonash felt that Ethan was far more than met the eye. She still didn't understand why Ethan wasn't attacking her directly, but this gave her hope to actually win, and she decided to focus on Arium since apparently Ethan had no other way to harm her. Even if Arium was completely buffed, Octonash believed she was still an inexperienced fighter, unable to fully wield all that power. A giant eel opened its fangs to devour Arium, but she wasn't afraid and charged her sword with energy. But suddenly, the sword slipped from her hand. She had no time to retrieve it, as the attack seemed imminent, and the eel bit her, slicing her body in half. The rest of the sea creatures collided in the same spot, ravaging the arena. The Kraken joined in, smashing the ground beneath it. The impact was so intense that it released a massive surge of energy, spreading throughout the dungeon. Outside, the people Ethan had assaulted noticed the portal to the dungeon acting erratically. A light shone from the portal, blinding them. They screamed that they had to report a dungeon break in progress. The portal started cracking, and the system announced that the damage inside the dungeon had reached its limit. It was collapsing. The portal exploded, revealing that the haven of the Witch of the Deep had been completely destroyed, and that Octonash had appeared on Earth, accompanied by one of her beasts. Octonash didn't know where she was, but she quickly realized she was in another realm. She looked completely drained, wondering about the whereabouts of her 2 enemies. Everything remained silent, no other presence around. She rejoiced at not sensing them, assuming her army had utterly wiped them out. But at that moment, Ethan appeared beside her, mocking her. Octonash attacked with her claws, but Ethan dodged effortlessly. She lunged again, using the same attack that had pierced Ethan in the dungeon, but again, he easily evaded. He turned his head 180 degrees, telling her that none of her attacks would work now. His stats were maxed out. Green magic began emanating from his hand as he told the dungeon boss that she should be focusing on someone else. Ethan cast the resurrection spell, sending a green beam of energy toward Arium's corpse that lay underwater. The beam reached her, and her body instantly reacted. Octonash sensed Arium's presence again and ordered her creature to devour the foe completely. The beast was about to reach her when a green light burst from the depths of the sea. In a flash, Arium drew her sword and slashed the creature. The attack was so powerful that the beast jumped out of the water, and Arium sliced it into multiple pieces effortlessly. Arium jumped forward toward the dungeon boss. She might be a novice, but with all her buffs, no creature could withstand her might. She threw a slash, cutting Octonash's flesh, but the boss countered by striking her with her tail, sending Arium flying. But she immediately recovered and lunged at the boss once more. Octonash was in disbelief. She didn't understand how Arium recovered so quickly, but then realized she had become much weaker after casting the summoning spell. Octonash began to morph, protruding tentacles from her body and launching them at Arium. She dodged the attack and seized the moment to stab one of the tentacles, slashing it apart. Octonash was filled with rage after being wounded again, and decided to use her final triumph card. She fully transformed, taking the form of a monstrous beast with multiple eyes and tentacles. All her limbs shot toward Arium, who couldn't avoid them, getting crushed instantly. But even in pain, with her body broken, she refused to give up and called out to Ethan for help. With a maniac smile, Ethan replenished Arium's HP and energy. Arium regained her confident gaze, and Octonash noticed. She launched her tentacles again, forming a cyclone of attacks that bombarded Arium nonstop. Ethan mocked Octonash once again, saying that Arium wouldn't die as long as he was there to support her. Arium used her Pioneer Slash, cutting through every inch of Octonash's body. But before the boss fell defeated, a memory from her past filled Ethan and Arium's minds. A scene where a human Octonash stood on a shore with a man, both clearly in love. Arium and Ethan floated above the sea. She asked what they had just seen, and Ethan explained it was a memory of the octopus witch. Suddenly, a system window appeared in front of Arium, informing her that she had cleared the deep-sea dungeon and would receive a triple S chest as a reward. Ethan immediately told her to open it, and she did. Ethan was deeply overjoyed. After all this time, he had finally saved Arium and wouldn't have to lose her again. Ariam opened the chest. It contained a large potion of experience, a mysterious egg, and the memories of the deep, the potion they had been looking for. Ariam's salvation rested in her hands, emanating a beautiful shine. Ethan told her to drink it. She'd feel much better afterward. She followed his instruction with a smile, not realizing Ethan had been watching how much time she had left all along. Ariam was about to drink the potion while Ethan gazed at her warmly, but suddenly, the potion vanished from her hand. She was completely shocked, and without warning, Creed appeared behind her, holding the potion. Creed is irritated at being summoned just to get rid of two newbies. In a fraction of a second, Ethan launches at him, demanding he return the potion. Creed smiles, commending his speed, and starts thinking he might be a worthy opponent. Ethan's punch is about to land, but Creed holds the potion in front of him and tightens his grip, cracking the bottle. Ethan halts. He knows the potion is a unique item and can't be obtained anywhere else. Creed admits he was just joking. He doesn't want to take a hit, and destroying the potion would only trigger Ethan's wrath. Ethan asks him what he wants. He needs to ensure Ariam drinks that potion. Creed casually tells him to guess his motives. Ethan answers money. No matter how much it is, he'll get it for him. However, Creed tells him he's completely wrong, and in the next instant, he crushes the potion in his hand, saying he felt insulted. Ariam looks at Creed, bewildered, while Ethan starts being consumed by rage. With a big smile, Creed reveals that the only thing he wants is Ethan's death. Ethan dashes toward Creed while analyzing his opponent. It is very likely that he works for Yomtong, and by being able to steal a unique class item, he must be a master in a rogue-type class. Ethan believes his speed stat must be maxed out, since Creed was able to react to his movements, and judging by his appearance, he must be an assassin. Ethan still has a chance to save Ariam. He only needs to sever Creed's hand, so they can use the little bit that is still dripping from it. Ethan's fist is about to land, but Creed tells him to wait, showing the unique item in perfect condition. He confesses he was just toying around, and what he cracked was a different potion of the same color. Creed adds that if Ethan is so desperate to recover the item, he should make a bet with him. But he immediately states that Ethan has no other choice. If he refuses, he'll crush the potion for real. Ariam begs Ethan not to accept. It clearly is a trap, but before she finishes her sentence, she starts coughing blood. Ethan has no other option. Ariam doesn't have much time left. Holding up the potion like a trophy, Creed asks if he accepts or not. Ethan agrees and immediately sets his terms. If he wins, the potion must be used on Ariam. Creed grins, thrilled by the answer. He asks if Ethan is fine with using official PvP rules. Ariam tries to stop him once more, mentioning that he has already done enough for her. However, Ethan tells her not to worry. He reminds her that everything will be all right while emanating a strange aura that sends chills down Ariam's spine. Creed asks if he knows the rules for PvP and starts growing impatient when Ethan doesn't reply. Ethan puts on a facade, pretending to be anxious while confirming that Ariam will get the potion if he wins. Ethan adds that he doesn't know how to bet, as this will be his first PvP match. Creed says that a bet is based on special rules, so he won't necessarily die if he loses. He's so confident that he offers Ethan the win if he can land just 3 hits on him. He finishes by saying it's the fairest deal he could think of. We go back to the past, when Creed was assigned a mission to eliminate someone known as H. The player union gave him the task, but he was completely overwhelmed by H. H was a mysterious figure who appeared out of nowhere and posed a real threat to the player union. He asked Creed who had sent him to kill him. He added that he would spare his life if he revealed his employer, even offering to pay him double the reward. Even in that situation, Creed laughed, saying he wasn't a broke man who turned his back on someone who hired him. Creed asked H to stop the humiliation and just kill him. H began casting green magic in his hand while saying that if he couldn't buy him with money, he could just offer something else. Suddenly, a system window appeared in front of Creed, presenting him with the option to acquire the bet trait. H asked if he'd prefer more power as compensation. He'd even have the chance to max out all his stats. H explained that the trait belonged to the gambler class, and with it, one could steal another player's stats during official PvPs. Creed called him a liar. There was no way anyone could max out all their abilities. He shouted that he had been sent there to kill him, and wouldn't believe a word he said. H began walking away, telling him to take the trait as an advance payment. After all, he was making an investment in someone he saw potential in. In the end, it was up to Creed to accept it. But if he did, he should repay the favor by bringing him the head of his former employer. A week passed, and Creed appeared at H's residence while he was watering his plants. Suddenly, Creed tossed him the head of his previous employer. But H didn't react. He only remarked that it was a quick decision, and from that day forward, Creed made an oath to use his skills for H. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.